They prorated part of his salary to give him a little bit more per year. Lions left tackle Taylor Decker got a 6-year, $85 million extension with $37.5 million guaranteed. And, yeah, the Saints are pushing to sign Jadeveon Clowney, which I'm just not sold. I mean, how much – how you must feel like shit if you're Marcus Davenport. Like, just, damn, they picked you in the first round, all those picks, and then they pretty much just try to replace you, like, every year.
I mean, he's just getting thrown around the whole league. He's officially a journeyman
for Clowney.
Yeah,
it's just the fact that I heard that he doesn't like. He's like, I want my money still.
Too much money, but you've never had 10 sacks in a season, bro. You're a run stuffing defensive end with like wide receiver athleticism. It makes no sense.
Is his whole career about that one hit that he had in college?
That's his career.
The Michigan game. Mm-hmm. Michigan wasn't even that good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great hit. It was a great highlight, but it's like
that's where people go to increase their draft stock is the Outback Bowl.
No, yeah.
Like every game in the Outback Bowl, Florida or Michigan end up playing each other, or an SEC team always plays Michigan, and somebody gets their face stomped out. Like, that just happens. So it's like, okay.
Well, how many years has he been in the league now? He's been in the league, this is his 5th, 6th year?
Same year as Khalil Mack.
Okay. And then how many teams has he been a part of now? So
Houston,
he's coming in Houston. He's with the Seahawks last year, so he's going on his 3rd year.
13. Like he's been with like 4 teams.
It feels like it, but like it's just like nobody wants to pay him. It's like, cool, you could be part of the team. He'd be better if he became more of a role player.
The Texans miss him because he just opened it up for like the other guys.
JJ.
But after a while, it's like you got to go and get sacks yourself. Like numbers do matter, and he just doesn't get them. I don't know what it is. He should he be on the roster? Of course he should be. He's great.
But for the money that he's asking for?
Not for the money that he's asked for, because production, you need to bring that. Like, if he would come take $2 million, I would love for the Chiefs to sign him for the season.
He's not going to take $2 million.
No, I know.
Now we need to have an intervention. Fam.
I mean, what is he worth?
If you want to go buy Madden 2010 on PS2, you can get both those things on Amazon for like under $100.
No, I know, but, just like Suge Knight said, if you want to, if you don't want to go, if you want to play for the winning team,
he just quoted Suge Knight on this podcast.
Come to the Chiefs. That's
you realize, like he said, Artesia earlier.
Yeah.
Do you understand where you at? Like,
said tripping. Oh, with y'all, I can't say shit.
I'm just mad at
what you do say.
With y'all bad boy fans.
Because I pronounced the G. Is that what it was?
You said set tripping and then just started laughing.
I said it with the G
hard.
though.
Nah, you said it perfectly fine, but you laughed too hard. Like you were too comfortable in that laugh. It's a devious ass laugh. That laugh sounds like gentrification.
Wow.
That laugh
sounds how you really feel over here.
Speaking of which, man, I just went to Grand Central Market, and that whole area is like not horrible now. I was like, wow, I don't know how I feel about this.
Is everything too expensive now?
Just a bad service?
No, it's just like, oh shit. Like, there's not PO on the floor everywhere. So it's like,
that's kind of a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. But then I'm also like, oh, it's kind of the character. Like, let me get this gourmet meal, and then
it's like, if I'm not going to get shanked, it's not a bad trip, you know?
Indeed.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. This is, these are fun times.
We're having such a
this is it right here. He's
today.
in.
We really are. Like,
right?
This turned from like, okay, we're gonna like you can just call back, but then they're like, oh, you got to pay to still be on Skype, and I'm like, huh?
That's what he said?
Yeah.
Wow.
Skype trying to be the middleman now. This is disrespectful.
This is your room.
No, I know.
The real question is, if we're gonna talk about it, Tyrod Taylor's starting QB for the Chargers.
That's what I really wanted to ask him.
Oh, don't worry. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him back on. It's gonna happen. But who's not okay with
that?
You
have to let him in?
Yeah, that's why I gave you his information, his username.
I hate when this dude just is like, yeah, he doesn't even know what the fuck is going on, bro. We're not even using Skype. We're using Zoom.
Why are you using Zoom?
Like, bruh. Just sit over there and stall. That's your one. That's your one job. That's your one job.
Username, bro.
That's your one job. I put it in. It didn't work. Anything else, sir?
Did you call the number
Anything
back?
else, sir?
Did you call the number back?
It's gonna be a lot
Shout
of
out to
editing
Serve.
this week. I'm gonna have my hands full this week.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, I'll just jump to some quick college football news. This is definitely going to be over quick. So, yeah, like UAB and Central Arkansas are playing today, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I think right now.
There's actually a bunch of stuff. Watch, go back to Twitter over here.
Yeah, like, they played Austin Peay last week. I never know how to say that word. But they're literally playing as of last week and this week. Shit's kind of amazing to me how that's all playing out. That, like, these schools, these small divisions are actually playing. It's actually kind of impressive. But anyway, Jamar Chase of LSU, top receiver in the draft, one of the best players in the draft, considered like a can't-miss prospect. He decided to opt out this year. Pretty much like, I think he's a redshirt sophomore. So he really had no reason to play this year, especially with like 80% of that team gone. What's the point? And then, you know, Memphis running back Kenneth. Crap, I forgot how to say his last name. Kenneth.
Who you talking about for linebacker for a squad?
Nah, the Memphis running back.
Oh, Memphis?
I don't want to mess up his last name. Gainwell. There we go. Kenneth Gainwell. He was a pretty much like a freshman All-American last year. Redshirt freshman. Had like 2,100 total yards from scrimmage. Plus, he had like 16 touchdowns. He declared for the draft. Technically, he got away with playing 1 year in college because he was a redshirt. And then freshman year, it's actually kind of amazing. Like, somewhere Maurice Claret is pissed off. We got him back?
What's up? Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Working?
right.
Go.
Good now?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back.
So I don't know what happened there, but it was asking me to pay. I'm like, what? I thought that was a free phone call.
Yeah, I was like, man, I don't know what happened.
Skype trying to tax people now. We gotta talk about
It's all right.
that.
Hopefully, we don't get Zoom bombed.
It's an open link or what?
We all getting hit up now.
Mo Lester might try to hop in the call.
Oh man, we'll make it work. It's all good. It's 2020. You got to adjust and work on the fly.
True. But speaking of working on adjusting, so their starting quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. Now, from the stuff I saw in Hard Knocks, every chance they got, they were like, oh my God, Herbert throws an amazing ball. Especially that rookie running back was like, dude, your balls are amazing. And everybody just stopped and looked at him.
Yeah.
Like, is the Justin Herbert love really that heavy out there? Or is Tyrod not getting enough respect?
No, you know what? I think the scenario that the Chargers created where they pretty much already said Tyrod Taylor is the starter, maybe kind of made it a good environment for people to say, hey, we like Herbert too, but we all know who's the guy for 2020 is Tyrod Taylor. But for the love for Justin Herbert, it is pretty legit. Chris Harris Jr., the longtime cornerback for the Broncos, first year with the Chargers now, I swear I've heard him mention, how much he likes watching Justin Herbert throw during training camp at least 5 times. There was a day where he wasn't practicing and he had like a little strain on his leg, so he was just doing sprints on the side. He caught one of Justin Herbert's passes. He had to stop his little jog to say, "Man, this guy's legit." Like he really likes watching him play. But the thing with Justin Herbert, he has all the tools. He has a strong arm. He's a guy you want to watch in a throwing session. But it's going to take a lot. It's going to take time. I don't want to say a lot, but it's going to take time for him to kind of put that all together. When in a team game, 11-on-11 drills, he was a little shaky. Scrimmages where he was a little shaky. So you got to put all that talent and those skills and the mechanics and everything he has with the arm strength, and you got to put it together into a game setting. That's where he's kind of lacking right now. And I think everybody kind of knows that because they're all leaning on Tyrod Taylor. So you have time to wait and groom on Justin Herbert. But talent, you got to be born with that, and Justin Herbert has it.
being here on the West Coast, we've heard about Herbert for a while. We've seen him in the Pac-12 games, and like you said, his scouting report has always been he has all the talent in the world. But I'm just curious, having to watch him up close a little bit more, what's something that maybe you've seen that's kind of surprised you, either on the field or even getting to talk to him, that you're like, well, I wasn't necessarily expecting that.
I guess not with the reporters. But, there is this big, I guess, kind of knock on him that he's not personable. He's a quiet guy. He's too shy. He can't control a huddle. He can't control a locker room. And I see him at least on Hard Knocks, and I've seen him with other players on training camp. He's trying to be more outgoing. And I think that the teammates are understanding he's not going to be a rah-rah guy or energetic. But they like that he's trying to go talk to people. He's trying to – the thing that kind of set up to me, he goes and asks questions. He's not afraid to learn. He's not afraid to say, hey, what do you see here? What are you doing there? And I think he struggled in that. And there was a session where his second team offense was facing the first team defense, and the Chargers, keep in mind, have a loaded defense. So he was kind of at a disadvantage there, but he really struggled. And after practice, the defensive coordinator Gus Bradley said that Justin Herbert went out to approach him and to say, hey, what did I do wrong? What do you think I can work on? So when I know he's quiet, but when you got to talk and speak up and ask questions, he's doing that. So and I think there was like a scene on Hard Knocks where he's kind of joking around. He actually did the WhatsApp thing from the Budweiser commercial in 1999. I'm like, what? Like he's like 21 years old. How do you know the Budweiser commercial?
I saw that too. I was like, is he old enough for that?
Yeah, and I'm like, I was kind of embarrassed of myself doing it right now, but for him to do it, I tried it. I couldn't. It was the worst thing ever. But for him, he doesn't care. He's gonna joke around the way he is, who he is. And I think the Chargers appreciate that. Just be who you are. Don't try to be a different guy. And that side has kind of really, surprised me, because when he talks to us in the interviews, he's very respectful, but very cliche and very short answer. So it's good for him to kind of come out of his shell with his teammates.
Indeed. And you talked about the fact they have a loaded defense. I mean, it helps that if your second QB is a guy who won an academic Heisman and put Oregon kind of back on the map, that helps. But with that defense, them losing Derwin James, but having a lot of depth at corner and kind of that nickel spot, plus Earl Thomas is kind of lingering out there. What have you heard, at least on the defensive side, like once Derwin went down with that injury?
Yeah, no, first of all, that's a brutal loss for the Chargers. His second year in a row, he has a big injury. Last year, at least there was a chance of him coming back. He came back for 5 games. This year, he's gone for the whole year. You saw reports of 6 to 8 months, and the Chargers confirming he's going to be gone for the whole year. And not just player wise, that guy's your heart and soul of the defense. He's I was talking about rah guys, but Justin Herbert, he's not like that. But Derwin James is. He's energetic. Players gravitate towards him. When he lands a big hit, that kind of the teammates feed off of that. So it's going to be a big thing to kind of I guess try to fill that void or replicate. But speaking on the free agents, I don't think the Chargers seem too interested in Earl Thomas. We asked them a couple of days ago, hey, Earl Thomas is out there. Gus Bradley's scheme. He knows Earl Thomas very well from the days in Seattle. You got a need at safety. Are you going to look into Earl Thomas? And he pretty much, brushed it aside. Because it was kind of funny, because we spent the whole offseason saying how much depth he has in secondary, how much Pro Bowl talent he has. How are you going to put all these pieces together? Is a guy going to be left out of the mix? And then a guy goes down, and we're asking about guys who are not even on the team. Like, what happened to all the depth and all the crowded questions in the secondary? So it was a little, sarcastic response from Anthony Lynn to say, I think he said, why the hell would I look anywhere else when you've been telling me the whole offseason how deep we are in the secondary? So a little funny, but you could tell he's a little frustrated. Obviously, he lost his, probably his best player, next to Joey Bosa on the defense. But, they have options, with that depth that we were talking about. Especially now you can throw in a guy like Chris Harris Jr. You mentioned how deep they are at the nickel. Now you can move Desmond King to a safety to kind of help you out there. He's supposed to kind of do the Adrian Phillips role from a year ago, kind of, be that dimebacker, linebacker, safety kind of hybrid. You got Nazir Adderley back healthy, who was supposed to be kind of like this perfect partner in crime for Derwin James a year ago. But he had a lingering hamstring and didn't really do too much as a rookie. Rayshon Jenkins, he's a guy who could play strong